The backyard brawl is back for its second year. West Virginia at Pitt. Look, these are two teams that I had Pitt stinking it up this year big time, and I had West Virginia doing really well this year. And it feels like they're sort of kind of meeting right here. And I think we're in a pretty similar spot. Like Pitt is on the up and up, West Virginia's on the down, down. There's a reason I think that this spread is 2.5, although Cincinnati blew that game against Pitt. Just blew that game against Pitt. And West Virginia, look, Bowling Green, sure, they looked good in that first half against Penn State, but West Virginia looked good in the first quarter against Penn State's defense. So I don't know. I'm I don't think I'm gonna think too hard about this one. I think West Virginia is immensely more talented. Now here's the thing: it's the backyard brawl. It's in Pitt.
Doesn't matter.
It literally doesn't matter. Throw it out the window. Okay, like Pitt wins this game. Like I'm probably gonna have to reevaluate my thoughts on this football team and my thoughts on Eli Holstein, by the way, who's played pretty well the first two
two,
games.
two straight games at 300 yards plus.
Yeah. So not that was against, you're playing Kent State who just lost to St. Francis, right? And it took a second half surge to get out in front of Kent State. And then it also took a second half surge against Cincinnati to win that football game as well. I'm just gonna lay it with West Virginia minus 2.5. I'm not gonna think too much about it. I just think that they're a better football team. Just waiting for Pitt to get got here, and but if they don't, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my original assessment on Pitt, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just say it. I'm taking West Virginia here to win and cover just because I think that running game will be able to travel. I thought Corey Kiner, did some work against this Pitt, this team, especially in that first half. They just couldn't quite close them out. It's really interesting. I do worry about West Virginia's secondary, right? And we've seen Holstein, with Mumfield, with Johnson, kind of get after, some teams here. It's interesting. And Reed, by the way, is also running the ball very,
Dude,
very, very well.
he is so
I
much better than Rodney Hammond. I did not expect that at all.
no, no, and yeah, obviously got a huge credit to West Virginia for that. I'm sorry to Pitt, excuse me, for mistaking the two. But again, yeah, this is an awesome game. This is a rivalry. Obviously, it's not, conference standings matter. Doesn't not a huge playoff conversation type game, but again, it's a really awesome game, and I'm glad it's on the schedule. Last year's game, we've seen a couple years ago with JT Daniels, back when he was West Virginia, that was an awesome game. And I expect this one to be just as good too. It is interesting to see that line go so low because I think, like you said, at the beginning of the year, West Virginia felt like a team that was, trendy, I guess, in terms of the Big 12 and because of how well they performed last year, how well their identity was with Garrett Green and the two running backs. And Pitt, obviously, a lot was made of their transfer portal losses and maybe the lack of additions that they brought in, especially at quarterback. And Holstein's been awesome. He has been awesome. So we'll see. Obviously, Pitt's at home, so that's obviously a big deal for them. It's a 2:30 game, I guess 3:30 Eastern time, so they'll be rowdy to go. Absolutely. The total is interesting here. It's at 60 and a half, right?
Yeah, a lot of
So they're
points.
expecting it to be like a 31-28 type game, you know, either way,
I
I guess
see.
for what. Yeah, it's not crazy at all. And especially if these running games get going, it could be really, really exciting. I do wonder though, in the fourth quarter, who do I trust? Because listen, I know Garrett Green looked good last week, but I really don't know if it's a fourth quarter game and it's you got to drop back and pass. I don't know if Garrett Green can get it done. That's why I worry about this pick here, especially on the road for West Virginia. I'll take it and I'll ride with it. But again, if it's a fourth quarter football game, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost trust Eli Holstein more, even though he's young, even though, you
Putting the ball
know,
in the air.
exactly. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like if it's fourth quarter and you have to drop back to pass, it's no play action. It's no, you can run the ball here and there. It's everyone in the stadium knows you have to throw the football to get first downs, to make big plays. I almost feel better about Holston being able to do that, especially at home too. I think that's a big deal. But we saw him do it on the road last week too.
Yeah, I just I don't know how good that Cincy secondary is. I think Kent State is so terrible, so terrible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna pick West Virginia, and you know what? I'm hoping that they get it done, dude. Because I was high on them. I was very very high on them.